Music. All right, well, good afternoon. Happy Wednesday. How's everyone doing today? Can you believe it's already March 6th?
Yeah.
March 6th. Okay, January went, February went, now we're in March, right? And guess what? March is gonna go this quick. Before you know it, Q1 is out and we're in Q2. So thank you everyone for coming. Today's gonna be an exciting time, because we're gonna have an amazing panelist of awesome agents that went to family reunion last week to provide us with some insights and some recaps of what they got from not just Terry Keller, Tony Robbins, and Mel Robbins as well. You guys excited?
Yeah.
Are you really excited? Go ahead and get started. Next slide, please. All right, our mission to provide agents with a place where they will be empowered, trained, and motivated to experience growth, wealth, and a legacy that allows them to live their best life possible. Our belief. When the values of your own company align with your own beliefs, you know you found your professional home. And our vision. Who knows our vision? Come on.
We achieve amazing.
Come on, you know it.
To achieve amazing professional and personal development. So that the KWSB remains the agency of choice.
Okay, give yourself a round of applause. Yeah, absolutely. All right, next slide, please. All right, we want to wish all of the amazing March babies a happy birthday. If you're on this list, raise your hand. Hi, happy birthday. Who else? Who else is a March baby? No one else. That's a big list here. So you take all the credit today. All right, make sure to get a gift for Shania. So happy birthday. And to all of our amazing agents as well. It's a big list here. Look at all these amazing agents. All right, let's continue. You already did. All right, let's congratulate our KW anniversary, a list of amazing agents. So let's give them a round of applause as well. You need to be part of this amazing company. All right, next slide, please. We want to thank our affiliate, Sean, for First America Home Warranty for providing us with lunch. We want to make sure that we thank her.
Good lunch.
Okay, always good ones, especially this type of food, right? She may be here later this afternoon. We can give her a high five and thank her for providing lunch. Okay, next slide, please. All right. What everyone has been waiting for. So can I get my amazing agents to come up here and demonstrate? I'm gonna have Jen come up here too as well. So coming up, how are ya?
Nervous.
Nervous? Oh. Don't be nervous, don't be nervous. And where's Gary? I told Gary to be here on time. Probably upstairs, making calls. You want me to be Gary? I can be Gary. Exactly like. He'll be here momentarily. I did tell him when I went upstairs, hey, Gary, make sure 12 o'clock is our team meeting, but that's okay. We got plenty, and also out of Sally as well.
She'll get him down.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's true. So again, we had the honor to go to Las Vegas. We were out in the Mandalay Bay last week. It was amazing. 4 days, 3 days for some of us and 4 days for others. But it just gives us a perspective of who we are and what we represent as a real estate company, and obviously in the umbrella of Keller Williams. So I wanted to just touch bases with, your first time experience, Gabriela.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit on how that was.
It was amazing. If you guys ever feel stuck or anything, you guys need to go to family reunion or mega camp. The energy out there is just surreal. And then just seeing our CEO, our founder, Gary Keller. Hey, Gary.
What are you talking about? How to see my friend?
These two beautiful ladies.
Okay, so,
But yeah, I mean, it's amazing. The energy out there is insane. And then what I really like as my first time going is you get to see agents around the world just at a different level. And just like the possibilities that are out there for all of us to really get to that level and not be, we're our own, what's the word, our own enemy, I guess, and just seeing how the possibilities.
yeah, awesome. Thank you for that. Gary, what was your experience? And I know this is your first time as well. So tell us your experience of Family Reunion.
Well, this was definitely a special one. It's a lot bigger than anything else. It's just great to, kind of piggyback what you're saying. I like to feed off of energy. Some people don't like crowd. I personally love crowd. I love to connect with people, and if you need a spark plug, that's an energy you want to plug into. It will plug you up, get you out of the doldrums and see, just meeting people doing great. Anything you think of doing, there is a saying that whatever you need on earth is already provided for you, right? And whatever you want to do, and it's already been done by somebody doing it well. All you have to do is let that connect to you, and then you can,
Beautiful. Thank you, Gary. Michelle, your takeaway from it.
You guys in a bathroom break, you wanna get coffee, because I'm gonna be here. So, everything that they just said, but I'm gonna break it down into, this is my 15th time, it's almost 19 years with KW, it's my 15th time to be at a family reunion. And by far, this was the best one ever. And I was trying to figure all of that out because it was about the energy. It was about, somewhere between 15 and 18,000 people were there. And I was trying to get an exact count, and someone said, well, they're in your app, just count them. I can't count that high. 6%, I don't know what it is, so. But I was trying to figure that out, what made it so different, and it wasn't just the extra energy with the people that were there. And then I realized that, looking back on the 15 years that I've been there, and all of the new information that all of the panels and the instructors and the classes are bringing to us, and and we're supposed to have 3 hours with Tony Robbins, and we had almost 4. And we're supposed to have 90 minutes with Mel Robbins, and we had a little over 2 hours, right? And then all of the classes and all of the coolest thing was the agents running up and down escalator to get to classes and time, and it became an Olympic event. But when I was thinking about all of that, what really expanded my consciousness about it is why we're here. And all of the new stuff that we learned and we can bring to you, text or call us, it's all on Facebook. Everybody took amazing notes in the app, they're electronic. There's so many new things, and it's so much about being relational and not transactional, which is kind of going back to basics. But when we go back to basics, we're going back to the basics at a very high level with all of the new stuff. And what occurred to me while I was sitting in that room is, many years ago, I had my own boutique agency and apartment locating service and relocation service with boutique agency. And I had grown up in commercial real estate, and an opportunity came along for me to sell that business and go back to commercial. And I was managing 15,000 units in Southern California with 220 employees. And everything that we did, all of the agents that we worked with and all of the property owners that we worked with through that organization were commodities. Like, very few of us actually really gave excuse my Texan rat's ass about the people that were at the properties that were working there. And when I came to KW, it was my sister, who wasn't even in real estate at the time. She built businesses, studied models, said, that's where you need to be for the profit share, for the God and family first, and for their always be learning growth attitude. And she was in Dallas. And so when I was in that room, those rooms with all those people at family reunion, and I watched our favorite CEO, who left the company and went to EXP and is now back and in charge. You know, in the pit bull running everything. And Gary himself, as we evolve and we grow, the leadership, our company, the reason I'm here, and I'll stop talking in 2 seconds. But the reason that we're here is, the reason I'm here is God and family first. And I had that in my boutique and I didn't have it in the corporate world and I don't see it in other organizations like we have it here. God and family first. But what occurred to me that day in that room when I was looking at Mark Willis and Gary Keller, is that really first and foremost with Keller Williams, it's about leadership. And as Gary has evolved and grown this company, he has stayed true to his values and beliefs, and he's been through a lot of different leaders. Mo Anderson is helping and back being more active and in charge of the KW Cares side of the company and the ALC side of the company. Mark Willis is back, Gary is large and in charge, and it just was, nobody was saying anything negative about any of the stuff that's going on in our industry right now. Everybody's very positive and very up, and we came and wanted to share all the new things that we learned with you, but I'm gonna stop talking and just let you know that check Facebook, check with us, text us, and we'll get you, put you into those notes because it's just phenomenal information that agents are doing to get back in touch. There's agents that are just picking up their phone and calling everybody in their phone and everyone in their database saying, you know, Keller Williams just added a land division and I'm working with this team that does, because we are all a team here. And I'm working with this team that does commercial, residential, luxury, land, property management, you know, I just wanted to let you know we've expanded and how can I help? They're making those calls and that's a warm call and it's not a salesy call, it's a how can I? I'm done.
Well, definitely you're not done yet. But thank you so much for sharing. Gabriella, you know, being that this was your first family reunion event, what was one of the things that really resonated with you with the entire experience? One thing. Was it the guest speakers? Was it the breakout sessions?
Yeah, I personally really like Mel Robbins, and excuse my language, but I wrote down for Mel Robbins. Hold on.
I know what you mean.
Hold on, I had it here.
It's not your language. It's
Okay.
her language.
I wrote down Mel Robbins is such a badass. She is
That is
like,
your language.
yeah. So just for all of us, cut the crap and get out of bed and just do what you love to do. And she taught us 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go.
Cut the crap, go do it, and stop the hesitation, the fear, and just
Love that.
yeah.
Yeah, it definitely resonated with me as well. You know, the story she shared with the group,
Yeah.
that she was able to have someone from committing suicide. The individual was at the verge of jumping off a bridge, but he thought and had that philosophy, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then he pivoted. And it was because of
Oh, and don't do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It won't work like that. You have to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. And then I also wrote, when you are in bad times, just know that it won't last forever. And we all go through bad times. Even if your business is succeeding, you could be having a bad time. So
Thank you. Gary, same question to you.
Was the one thing that resonated?
Yes.
Amazingly, a lot of classes I actually try to get into, I was not able to get into. Either it's too full, and I learned by visually. So outside of one class, I was sitting in the middle, the person came and kicked us all out. But it's what it is just that what people are doing, different individuals, they're doing 1 or 2 things really well and really killing it on the business side. You know, sometimes we try to get to do 10 different things. Okay, I want to do this today. I want to do that today. I want to, you know, you spread yourself all over, and these people just do like one or two things. They want to actually make it to the stage, because of course, with 16,000 people, there's a lot of great people there. They want to make it to the stage. They were just doing one thing so well, and it blew up well for them. So that's where I'm like, okay, what's the one thing I'm gonna come up? Because usually when I go to family union, I'm like, okay, I want to apply this, I want to apply that, I want to apply this. And you go into doing it, and you never follow all the way through, right? So I feel like they put a lot of inspirational, this time around, with having Tony Robbins and Robbins. I'm actually more moved by Tony Robbins. And what I love about that one is that
Shovings.
no, it's just a lot of the things that is said on stage or it was inspiring us on. Some of those things I've worked in my life, but I just didn't have. I didn't have a name for them. I didn't have, you know, you didn't have it in a frame, but they were part of my life. You know how you can relate to people like, okay, that's me there. That's me there. And like, wow. So yeah, I think it's, and of course in the state of Thursday, the one thing that never leaves me is we work among great people. We work among great people. I don't know, maybe it's California, we don't pick it up as much. But damn, agents are really, especially KWSB, they're really good people. People that do things for other people, that, one guy, was it like gave his kidney for another agent? Not in the same state, actually, not in the same state. It was I'm assuming a growth call or ASC call, I don't know. But this is how connected we are to one another if we really use it well. If we really use it well. And there are some people using that very well. I think that's what makes me feel good. That wow, I'm among somebody like this. I don't think I'm that great, but I'm among that kind of greatness, right? So even if I can just rise up a little bit, from where you are, I think you'll be that much better. That's all.
Thank you, Garrett. Yeah. For me, one of the key elements that I picked up from Family Reunion was Tony Robbins. I got to see Tony Robbins back in 2003, and it was an experience that all of you should be in attend. But just the mere fact that he was at the verge of he had surgery and he was heavily medicated, right? And he said, I was contemplating about canceling Family Reunion because he was in a lot of pain. He just had surgery, but that's not Tony. That's not Tony. And he committed. And even though he had, his arm, and Tony, he's all about the hands and jumping and clapping and all that stuff. That wasn't Tony. Point being is that he was there, he was dedicated, he was devoted, and he was not going to let Gary and all of the real estate professionals. So it's amazing to see him. And yes, like Michelle was saying, he definitely went over the top with a lot of content. And some of the things that I picked up on my notes here, 5 quick little checklist of branding, right? Which we all should be branding, right? Number 1, understand the true power of entity, right? What is your entity? What do you have that sets you apart? Number 2, identify and articulate your competitive advantages. What advantages do you have against your competitors? What sets you apart from your competition, right? You want to start thinking about all that because when you go on a listing appointment, right? You don't know if you're going to be in competition with amazing agents, right? That also want that listing as well. What sets you apart? Number 3, practice communicating concurrently. Number 4, live it. And number 5, market it. Okay. And I think it kind of resonates with all of us a little bit of our position, right? Howard Williams is the backbone of what we do, right? The support that we have from the organization. But it's you at the end of the day, right? Your brand, your style, what sets you apart. And Tony was also indicating, like a brand, right? If I was to say right now, which soft drink do you think right now? Coke. Okay. How many said Coke or in their head? How many said Pepsi? Okay. How many said Sprite or 7-Up?
And it's right.
But when we think of soft drinks, right, we think of either Coke or Pepsi, right? Obviously, they're doing something well, right? Okay, they're doing something well. So when we think of iPhones, it was another thing. What do you think when you think of phones? You think of Apple, right? Okay, and the other ones.
Better one?
When you think of, searching for stuff on the internet, what do you think of?
Google.
Okay, right. Imagine if that was people or the consumers immediately saying, Steve Gottlieb. That's Steve Gottlieb, who knows real estate, or Michelle Brown, or Gary, or any of them. The point being is, Tony was saying, brand yourself, but brand yourself to the fullest and the highest. Make sense? Chris,
Yes, sir.
any takeaways?
My biggest thing was Gary Keller and Mark Willis, and the fact
Mark
that Mark Willis is now taking reins as a CEO of the company, and the belief that, we as a company, we will win, right? That was just so motivational to know that I'm with the company that's doing everything in their power to create the best tech, education, and environment so that we as a whole can grow together and be the best real estate company out there, so that as a real estate company, we can be better serving you guys. So to me, I almost proud. I'm just proud of being with the company that knows that, we got you guys back, and we're gonna do everything in our power to protect you guys, to help you guys succeed. So, Mark Willis is gonna be, the best new thing for Keller Williams, next to Gary Keller and Coca-Cola.
Mark Willis also said we really are a family now that we're donating body parts to each other.
It's Jen still here. Anything you'd like to share with us? Get her up front. Get her up front. Yeah. Get her up. I got a special seat right there for you.
So it's funny, someone had asked me, this is, I think, actually my 19th family reunion, because I missed the one right after COVID. I was sick and I was like, I can't make it. But they asked what I was taking, and this particular family reunion, I agree with you guys, it felt different. It felt like there was a bazillion people there. I think at one point I thought I was gonna die underneath the amount of realtors that I'm like, someone took a picture and I'm like, I'm that dot down there and no one can see me. I literally got ran over twice, and then he had to pull me up because people were running for Tony Robbins. Legit got pushed down. I'm like, okay. But for me, it was about keeping the relationships I had built over the last 20 years of being with KW. And so a lot of my meetings, I didn't quite make it to all the classes because I was trying to make sure I was at the events that I needed to be at, which were the networking, or just hey, are you here? Yes, I'm here. I want to meet with you. And it's the Scott Leroy's, it's the Michael Lewis's, it was the Danny Haras and all those individuals. And that's the cool thing about going to family reunion is meeting and networking. And then I had a fun experience because Keller Williams created an OP ALC last year, and I'm one of the founding members of it. And the cool thing was I was sitting in the room and they were talking about the next generation, how these OPs, which are the top OPs in the company, are working to provide an avenue for, the young people. And as I look around, I'm like, okay, I am the youngest one in the room here. Most of them were, about 60 or over. And I think maybe there was like two of us in like our forties and like that was it, but it was cool to see what they have done over the years. And I felt like, wow, like I made it, like I'm in this really, this room with these people that I've looked up to the last 20 years. And I think that's what going to family reunion for me was, is just starting off as like the young kid that ran into Tony or Mike Brody back in the day, not knowing who he was, and then building those up over the years. And I loved Mel Robbins more than Tony Robbins. Sorry, Gary.
I have a different vibe.
They do have a different vibe. I'm not the sit up and jump. I did dance, but that's not quite me. And I think the big takeaways too were with Mel, like I have found myself counting backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just really on eating carbs. But it is helpful, and it is cool to see Mark Willis back. I think we're a different company. One thing that I want to say is on tomorrow, we have the value class, and I thought that was really cool. They didn't speak about the case, but they are bringing value classes. So if you guys haven't signed up for that, or if you aren't, do you know what the exact time is? I just got the email. You think it's 10?
I think it's at 11 or 10 o'clock.
Okay, so the value class is going to be talking about the case and like, not the case, but like what you can do to prevent any issues regarding it, right? So I really think that we all should go to that, like volunteering yourself to go to class, or at least be on the Zoom. They're going to put out 4 of them, and Gary Keller is actually going to be one of the instructors on there. So please, if you haven't already, sign up for that class or be here while we stream it.
I think that's a really, really, really important session to sit in on,
Yes.
because Gary was very succinct and very transparent in his explanation of why KW settled in those lawsuits. And it was to protect all of us, and he knew that it would be appealed. And it was just to protect anybody else from getting sued. His message is very, very powerful, and it will make a lot more sense to you when you hear him speak to that. So I agree with Jennifer, we need to be there.
Awesome. So let's go back to Gabriella before we cut the session. So, as you were saying, Michelle, there was, thousands of agents, and it was a little overwhelming. I'll be the first. And this one was as crazy as the one that I went in 2020 at family reunion in Florida. There was just so many people, but the confusion was, trying to find the sessions to go, because they had the maps on their apps and all that. But the best way was just to ask, and they would guide us into, because the convention center is obviously super big. And, when you have so many people going, every direction, it makes it a little bit like, okay, where is this section? But as long as you stay in pace and, proactively, look at the map ahead of time, then you should be able to get to your breakout sessions. For me, the biggest ones were obviously the guest speaker, Gary Keller, Mark King, Tony Robbins, and Mel Robbins. And then for me, the other one was also vendors. This time, for some reason, I saw there was a lot more vendors in the previous, and one that I'm very intrigued, and we're going to have a guest speaker is Homestuck, who's going to be coming in here and giving us some insights of this new platform that they're going to be introducing to real estate agents. So it's going to be fun and exciting. We're scheduling it either at the end of the month or in April. So be on the lookout for that or lunch, I should say. So before we finish and close out, any last things
I
you
do want
like
to
to
say
share?
something. Does anyone use Command? Yeah, there's some really cool things coming out in Command. They're gonna have kind of like a chat GPT, but within our Command, so that's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And then also, they're gonna have the forecast of your database, who's more likely to sell. So if you guys don't have addresses and all of that in your Command, I would suggest you guys do that, because that's gonna be coming out real soon. And then the last thing I want to say was, when I was there, like they're saying, like Keller Williams is so amazing. And I went out to lunch with Michelle and Gary, And I was sitting there and I asked them both the same question. I'm like, have you guys ever thought about leaving KW? Both of their answers were pretty much in sync. Of course, Gary said never, Michelle said never. But she said, if I could share, Michelle, she's like, I did interview other brokerages at once.
What? Wait, what?
She said, I interviewed other agencies at one, before, and I said, really? And she said, yeah, and you know what? The more I interviewed with other brokerages, the more I realized that KW is the best brokerage.
It's tough getting Gary to go out to lunch.
Yeah. But like you said, Keller Williams is, God, family, and then business, and if you guys don't know who Mo Anderson is, you guys should search her up. She is amazing. She was there the 4th day, which I think should
Well,
have
we
been.
actually got to see her play a piano.
Piano.
That was impressive.
I just want to pick her up and put her in my suitcase and just bring her with me. Like, she's so cute and full of culture. And she had, for the inspiration morning, she had people from Hawaii, the donor for the kidney, and then all these charities, and just so amazing what Keller Williams does, and it's the best.
Awesome. Gary, final thoughts? Emily?
Well, for family reunion, if you guys can put it in your to-do list, I really think whenever, the next one is gonna be again in Vegas. Wherever you are in your business, there's gonna be something that speaks to you. Either you're an agent, you're part of a team, you're a buyer specialist, you're gonna meet people doing what you're trying to do, but doing it really, really well. I think they do a really good job of searching wherever you are, people that have done it really well. That's how they got on stage. And you get better by seeing people that have done what you're trying to do. And if you can emulate them, then you'll get ahead from where you are. So I would just recommend putting it in your agenda. And when you go there, I really feel like when I went to my first family, that's why I've never stopped going. Once I went to one, I'm like, oh shit, this is good. Because it just continued to inspire you and to plug you in to want to become better. And it's not, to me, it's not all about business stuff. It's about the individual you become. Because again, I really think they do a good job of researching the finest people. So Thursday, come late after all your learning. By the way, if you go, don't ever leave after Wednesday night or the last day of training. You gotta stay for the inspiration breakfast because that's what brings everything back. You've got your brain, wide up. Matter of fact, like Wednesday afternoon, the last 2 classes, I didn't do it. My brain was just overloaded. It's just like, I feel like I got too much information. Actually just sat down in the exhibition hall, and took a class there. And interesting, the class that I took in the exhibition hall, that's where I'm gonna apply the one thing, from the whole family reunion, to my business. But, Thursday, you get really inspired with good people. Because it's good to do business. It's good to do great business. But it's also really good to become a better person, right? And that's what you learn if you stay true.
Thank you. Michelle?
I'm gonna piggyback on what Gary said because I had 2 takeaways. First one was that that there's something there for everyone to build your team as a solo agent, to build your business as a solo agent, or to build your business as a team, which is 2 people, or to build your business as a group. Jennifer and I had that conversation, which is more than 2 people. There's something there for everyone that's gonna fit. And the takeaways from what each of those agents are doing, that you can figure out how to adjust that to your market. You'll always hear in all of the training, all the coaches, everywhere you go, everyone, any room you're in, someone's gonna say that won't work in my market. Well, that's BS. You just have to figure out how to make it work in your market and tweak it. So that always brings me back to, as Chris Baker knows, my favorite thing is the collaboration and the love and the confidence that all the agents in Keller Williams can share with other agents, whether you're here a day or a year or 20 years, that we have the confidence to walk into a room and meet with any client because we know that I can grab any one of you with your expertise that I need and take you with me. And you don't find that anywhere else. And that's why Gary Carroll's favorite motto of mine is that the rising tide raises all boats, right? No agent is left behind. So that is just inspiring to me that we have that. No one should have fear. Everyone should have confidence because there's somebody sitting next to you that will hold your hand and go with you and get it done. The other thing was the inspirational breakfast. And there was a man there from Maui. Their agency burned, their neighborhood burned. They were working out of temporary quarters miles away from Lahaina, and they hadn't eaten in 3 days. He and his wife, both agents, their team living in their car, as a lot of agents were waiting for all the care stuff to kick in. And there was nothing. He was walking through his neighborhood. There was nothing. There were no chimneys standing like we have in Texas after tornado. There was nothing. The appliances in his home and everyone's home had melted. The stoves, the refrigerators, everything had melted. And
I was gonna say
one thing, yeah. So he said they got gift cards to go eat, and it was the best Chick-fil-A sandwich he'd ever had in his whole life. But the one thing that he retrieved from his burned down leveled house was his Bible.
Yeah.
With not a scar or mark on it.
And white cover too.
A white cover on a Bible, and it had no ashes, it had no stains, it had no nothing. And his refrigerator and stove had melted with fire. So if that's not a message,
Oh, I was gonna say, like my 4 action items that I had was one, I actually went to, I kept coming down here to try to grab Leanne, but I talked to Al about this, was that we forget about things so quickly and Maui still needs help. And I wanted to try to put on something for Maui because they need like almost $400,000. And I'm trying not to cry on that too, because they gave them money, but the money, $500 doesn't go very far in Maui. You know, like that maybe buys a pants and a shirt and something else. So buying it here and maybe shipping over is more. And so just look for that because I want to, try to spearhead something. And I was thinking more like a garage sale where like people can like donate items and then we can sell to help support the people in Maui, because not only did they lose everything, they have nothing to sell. If you think about it, like their businesses just changed. And I was talking to Danny Hart about that too. And then I'm like thinking of the other things, the other items that on a different note, is that I think we all need to, we're gonna be putting on buyer packet, like everybody here is gonna have a buyer packet basically. So we're gonna show you how to, put on a buyer presentation, as well as the value class. And I forgot my 4th one. Oh, my 4th action item for myself is to focus on the next generation. It used to be called KW Kids Can. And now they talk about next gen. And I really would love for some of us to be certified in Quantum Leap for Kids and take that to the local community, because I think that we can really help the kids as far as teaching them, Quantum Leap. And if you haven't taken Quantum Leap, it's a great class. It's not just about real estate, it's about, your life. And so that's one of the big things that I would like to put on. And if you guys are connected with the school districts, please let me know. I'm connected with Palos Verdes and Formosa, but if you guys are connected to Torrance and Redondo, that would be great.
Well, let's give a round of applause. We were going to play a video, so Nat, let's play a quick video. It's the one that Michelle was talking about.
You know what spreads faster than any virus? It's fear. And when it comes to fear, you can either forget everything and run. I say or you can face everything and rise. I believe. And let me tell you what I believe. I believe we're gonna face everything and rise.
just wanted to share with you, that's what Mark Willis was talking about, he kept saying and emphasizing, I believe, and I truly believe that we are one of the best organizations in all of real estate. So awesome. Again, thank you to the panelists for providing us some insights to make a family reunion. So let's go ahead and continue. Next slide, please. All right. Just a quick reminder, sales contest ends at the end of the month. And the awesome thing is it's actually moving now. I've seen the movement. So remember, the contest ends on the 31st, and the point system as follows: 1 point per each listing taken, 1 point for listings closed, contracts written, contracts closed, and also give yourself a point if you show up to the team meeting. I said that last week, and I'm saying it again. If you come and you participate and you're here or on Zoom, okay, I'll give you that. If you're on Zoom, give yourselves a point, okay? Obviously, submit your numbers every Monday. Here's the code. And then if you don't know what team by now, you can check on the left side here. Yes.
Can I take two?
All right, and then 1 point if you use our escrow and close with Escrow South Bay. If you use our awesome lenders, Chris Rivera and Fernando. And then also at the highest price point, you'll get yourself a point as well. All right. Perfect. All right, let's continue. Next slide. Here it is. All right, so right now the results. Rising. What are you doing? What you guys doing?
Recording our numbers.
You're reporting your numbers. Thank you very much.
Simon, we also meet every Monday and Friday in the morning and have accountability calls. So everybody that's on Rise Team Rise.
Yeah. That's awesome. Second place, the closers at 100 points. Come on. And then third place, the winning circle at 96 points. Gary Nix and Lamar. Come on, hey. Yes, yes. All right, next slide. All right, any listings, pitches, buyer needs and wants? Eric.
So guys, I just co-listed a lot in North Redondo on Goodman and Havemeyer. It's a 5,000 square foot lot that was subdivided into two. So you could build 2 single family homes, 2 tall cities over there. One just sold for like 2.250, like 50 feet away. And the list price on this was 2.1, so if you have any developers that you can build in Redondo. Yeah, to build 2 tall cities. So in one of the double lots.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a corner lot too, right on Goodman and Havemeyer.
Awesome, thanks, Eric. Anyone else?
How much is it, 2.1?
2.1 with approved plans.
I have one for 1.2.
Okay.
Can you tell us about it?
It's on, just looked at it last week, somebody. It's another agent's listing, it's listed on the MLS.
Okay.
She's from Call Realty. And
They still around?
He's still in the old days.
Penny save.
It's in, it's off of Wolcott, Golden Hills.
Hey,
Okay.
we got a recruiter.
Golden Hills. We have a recruiter?
No, you need a recruiter.
You need to work on your downline. She's about, she's in her sixties. I think she's ready to retire.
I'll go with her.
Okay. We're just gonna pull them all in, get the retirement bus and bring them all over. No, I'm saying for 2.1, yes, it makes sense.
Yeah,
The tall and skinnies right now are selling for
2.2.
2.2.
Brand new ones, yeah. Which is when they close.
Yeah, brand new,
Brand price.
but they're like going for 1.6.
I got a referee this, okay. Anyone else? Coming soon, Cheyenne.
I have a duplex that just listed for, I think it's just last night. So it's in Los Angeles 90062. The main house and a back guest house. The main house is 3 bed, 2 bath, just over 1,800 square feet. We've got that one listed for 3,950, so $950. And then we've got the guest house in the back, 1 bed, 1 bath, totally renovated, a little ensuite bathroom in that one, little tiny walk-in closet. And that one's going for 1,700. So, have any tenants looking?
That's not bad.
Bring it away.
Cheyenne. Love the boots.
Okay, thanks.
Love the boots. All right, going once, going twice, yes. Kelly.
Ask Ryan, he's like, can I try to get, something wanted to.
Can't hear you, Ally. Can you come over here, please?
I need a church for me, up to 20,000 a month, 10,000 square feet, and, they need to like right away, because it just got noticed that they have to move on in 3 days. So if anyone knows the church, not like anywhere in LA, so unless it's,
A church for at least,
for me, up to 20,000, it's a nonprofit.
okay, what kind of building do you need? Just a warehouse and,
It's like a. Like a whole house.
That's a warehouse.
In LA right now.
can't be turned into a church.
Okay,
Plus,
that's
it's
good.
13,000 a month.
Okay,
Up to each, say 20 Esther.
I can,
It's probably 20 Esther. It's on the MLS.
okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Ally. Yes, sir.
I have a lot in San Pedro at 675 West Sepulveda.
Okay.
Please sell it because they burned half the house down, the homeless house, and we're looking to try to burn the other half of the house. So now we have a complete flat lot. They've been trying to break in the fence, but they can't break in the fence, but if anybody sees a homeless guy and it says Jim Zapula on his back, he stole my vinyl sign.
Oh my gosh.
So when it's raining on him, so. It says, if you see a homeless walking around, it says Jim's a pull from Philadelphia. I donated it.
So don't assume it's you.
Don't assume it's you. For a little bit.
I'll tell you.
Well, it's not branding.
Free advertising. Free advertising.
That's good, yeah, it's advertising, right? It's on Gap, and they ripped the sign down, and they must have used it for shelter. It was a nice big ink. And,
I'm probably gonna be burn up the half of the house.
well, they burned, I have 228, North Gaffney for sale too. That is a vacant, drive-through restaurant. It's a 3,800 square foot lot right next door to Wiener Schnitzel. That's for sale. It's got a 1,000 square foot building that used to be a Portuguese fast food restaurant. That's all for sale. We dropped that down to 675, over $100,000. We just dropped that last week. So that's up for 675, and the lot behind it, because they were gonna build a restaurant there, they needed a parking lot. That's where we got 675 West Sepulveda. So we can sell 675 West Sepulveda as an R2 lot that they actually bought for a parking lot, but now we're gonna just sell it to build, because they have plans for like 2 units and 2 ADUs on it, so. And it's 559,000, that makes sense to build 4 units. So, that just got lowered last week, so it's a lot in San Pedro, right in back of Wiener Schnitzel for 675 West Sepulveda for 559. Build, and we don't have approved plans, but we have plans.
These are opportunities for your investors out there, so thank you. If you have any questions, I'll reach out to you. All right, we've got to continue. I press for time and I want to respect your time as well. So we're continuing. Next slide, please. All right, let's bring up Gabriel Gomez, our vendor spotlight with a lot of How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well, my friend.
Hey, thanks for having me here today.
Absolutely, please.
So my name is Gabriel Gomez. I'm a franchisee with Pure Post Home Inspectors. I don't need to tell anybody in this room what a home inspector does. Everybody knows. We go out, we inspect a home, we generate a report for you. That's what I like to talk about. It seems to be industry standard that the inspector guarantees the report to be emailed within 24 hours. Here at Pure Post, we do things just a little different because we actually have a tangible product that we give to the client at the end of the inspection. And this is what I want to go over, because we print these on site at the end of the inspection, so we can discuss it with the client, see if they have any questions. So first you're gonna notice there's 2 places for business cards here.
one for the realtor and one for myself. That way, if they have inspection questions, they're not bothering you during your busy day to hunt me down and ask questions. So that's what we have. We also have these are shut-off tags. When you're new to a home, you may not know where the gas shut-off is, where the water main shut-off is, the electrical disconnect. So we tag those for them. We also include our code of excellence, which all Florida Post franchisees follow. We also add the ASHI standards of practice. The reason why we do that is because that way the client will know what to expect from a home inspection and what not to expect from a home inspection. Then we have the report, and I'll get to that in just a minute, because next I want to show you, we also include a seasonal maintenance checklist. When you buy a home, you want to keep it up. You might want to sell in 4 years, 7 years. So you have a seasonal checklist here that you could follow. And then, things get stuck sometimes, sorry about that. We have, this is home purchase records. And there's a place in the back of all of these for receipts. Home construction improvements, we have property taxes, and then also the gas, water, and electrical expenses, which once again, you keep track of. If I can get this to fall, it's not working for me. There we go. And then once again, we have a space for receipts. We also include this pamphlet, which we offer 3 packages. Okay, and we try to make it affordable for everybody. So we have 3 different packages at different price ranges. And we also include a cost guide. What that does is if there are any issues that I point out, it'll help the home buyer figure out how to budget for what they want to fix. Some things will need attention right away, some things could wait. And with this cost guide, that'll help them figure that out. Okay, and once again, we do print the report on site with colored photos. Okay, and so first we'll have the actionable items in the summary. And then as you go along, you'll see the photos and then whatever the inspector's comments are. And then in our most private, popular package, as our premium package, we also do infrared scanning. This comes in handy for a couple of things. We could scan the electrical box to see if the temperature is operating at a normal temperature. If there's radiant heat, as it warms up and it gets the summertime, if there's radiant heat, I can certainly turn it on, but I may not feel it. So with the infrared scanner, I can see if it's working. So that's something we include in that package. And then also all the inspection reports that we get, we also include our information series. If there's something about the house that like aluminum branch circuit wiring, which isn't really all that popular, people don't know a whole lot about, we can help educate them on that with this information series. The last thing that we have is the Centric app. This is the free app that the client will get. What this does is they could put their appliances into this app and it'll let them know if there's any safety recalls for the appliances. Also, there's like how-to videos that you can access. You can access the manual for any appliances you have in your home. And also the parts. Let's say you have a refrigerator with the water filter in it. Well, you can go to Centric, look up the refrigerator, it'll tell you how to take the water filter out, what water filter to buy, which you can also purchase through this app, and then how to replace it. So that comes free as well with the home inspection.
You're saying 3 options, what do you mean by that?
Well, there's 3 packages. We have our Plus packages, which is a basic inspection, and then the premium, and each one may have a little bit of an upgrade. For example, with the premium, what we do is we will offer a floor plan. It's gonna be kind of tough for you to see, but we offer a floor plan with our premium package, which is our most popular package here in the middle. We have our basic, our premium, and then our prestige. The prestige, what we do is we'll sample for mold and allergens, and we send that out to a lab so that they can see if there's anything harmful in the air. And this I recommend just for people if they have like respiratory issues that may be wanting to buy a home. And so that's what I mean by the 3 different packages. Then they're priced differently, obviously. This is gonna be the most affordable in the middle, and then of course because of the lab, we source that out, they charge what they charge, and so we just tack it on to the fee.
Yeah,
Yes,
but if you have a house with radiant heat, you have to sell them the package that inspects the radiant heat.
basically,
You
yeah,
can't tell them some cheaper package and then not do the inspection.
that's a great question, and what's your name?
Jim Zapola.
Jim, you know what I do for you and everybody in this room? If that does come up, I will scan for radiant heat on the basic package,
Okay.
okay? Because we do scan for other
Like I
things.
said, people get cheap, you know, they don't want to do it, and then they say, well, you should have told me
And and that should come with the basic package, quite frankly. I mean, that's a component.
Rated heat, that's rated heat, so
It's a component that I would need to check, and then I would check, and I will do that. I will do that. That's not an issue. But we do also scan walls to see around like plumbing and stuff, to see if there's any possible water leaks, so on and so forth. So the other things we do with that, other than just scan for radiant heat, but you're absolutely right. I like that. So yeah, I will do that for you.
Fine, thank you.
Awesome. Any other questions? All right. Hey, thank you for your time.
Before I have Natalie, introduce the next slide, can I get Chris Rivera up there, please? No, he's not in trouble.
There's no one clapping.
Next slide, please.
Come on, man.
I wanted him to do the announcement, so there you go.
So we do have a seminar coming up later this month. Actually, tomorrow is the training for you guys. I highly recommend you guys coming. There are some nuances to the Break for All program that you need to know so you can pitch it to your clients. I'm going to go through a slide, just 2 slides actually for you guys, because there's a question that always comes back to me. I've heard other loan officers talk about it, other realtors here in this office talk about it. Well, I don't want to do the Break for All program because of the shared appreciation. And actually, before I get there, because Natalie just put this up there, I need to let you guys know that I have moved companies. I have moved to Arbor Financial. It's the natural migration from my business to move up and onward, and I've moved up and onward into the broker world. I'm a full broker now, just like you guys, independent contractors. I made the switch because I thought it was the best switch for me and for this office. Because as a mortgage company, we have so many control set on us, pricing, products, overlays on those products that actually the end investors allow, but our mortgage companies don't allow us to do it. So as a broker, I don't no longer have to worry about my management telling me we can or can't do something. I go directly to the source, to the end investor, and it's whatever they do. They do lower FICO scores, higher DTI.
So you can roll over any loan to any now.
Correct.
Oh, wow.
Correct.
So
So it's
no need to go to anywhere else. I mean, the broker alone.
Exactly. And the best thing, Jim, is I've taken the middleman out of the pocket. See, the thing is with mortgage companies, they have these big organizations with support staff. You've got middle level managements making 6-digit figures and bonuses, going to retreats and networking events and all that posh stuff, right? Well, who pays for that? Right? To consume something. Because ultimately what they do is they build it into the pricing to get it out to the end consumer, right? And they control our pricing as a mortgage banker, and I have to sell it to the client base. Well, they're no longer part of the game because we just kind of kicked them to the curb. And now it's just us doing what we need to do, get raw pricing directly from the investors and give it to the clients, right? So it's a win-win for everyone. There is a big learning curve on my part. I'm like drinking from a fire hose right now. It's been pretty crazy the last 4 weeks. And I'm sure it's going to be like that for the next 4 weeks. But as I get more accustomed to their systems, it'll become easier. It's the same, it's just different features to what they have. But anyway, the big story is I did move. I'm not going anywhere. My office is still there. I'm still going to the fishbowl. So come by, say hi, and I'll explain more.
So you're able to, he's now able to attach to the first time buyers programs in each county.
Yes,
Am I correct?
that's correct.
Because there's some of them right now that are up in 15,000, 20,000 with the closing costs. So he could access the same, because he's brokering it now, he can access the same.
Exactly. I've got a friend.
There's some programs in certain LA counties and certain cities. Some of them are like Wilmington and Harbor City and different cities. So I talked to another broker, she actually called me on the phone, says there's a first time buyers program, we're giving $15,000 back in closing costs. So, but now, so you don't know the broker because they're just calling cold because they have that program. But now Chris, who's got 30 years experience, we didn't just call him, he could provide the same thing. So congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
For your first time home buyer seminars, are you doing it only in the office or are you able to partner up with agents to do it within the community?
Either one. So the first one, we are doing one later this month. It's gonna be in the office, right? But it's open to all of you guys to bring your clients in, which we're gonna talk about in a second. But your second part of that, will I do it with you, partner, or if you wanna do it at a community center? Absolutely. That's fine. I have no problem with that. If you just set up the venue and I'll show up, I can help you with some of the marketing and other stuff that goes into it. But yes, I will do that with you. Right?
Your email address is the same, or you should change
What's that?
your email address?
Email addresses change. You guys will get all notified. I'll be sending the blast out to the entire office, and you'll have my new email address. It's pretty easy. chrisrivera@arborfg.com. Phone number staying the same. I just hit the button in my head right now that said, okay, I gotta change my voice now because I haven't done that yet. So I will change that today. But the beauty is I'm staying here. It was presented to me a couple of months ago as to why I needed to leave cross-country mortgage. And I met with Jen, Minnie, Simon, and I made sure that whatever I did, wherever I was landing, was gonna be a good fit for not just me, but for you guys as well. It was kind of a step up to go into the broker world. I gotta be honest, I'm an independent contractor, just like you guys. I've always been kind of employed by a company, but that's okay. The insurance part of it and all that's through my wife, so I'm okay with that. But it's kind of the newness of everything. But it's actually kind of exciting because now I'm like, I get to learn something and I feel the juices flowing again. And I just want to get out there and talk to people about what I can do. So congratulations. Well, yeah, can you go to the next slide? And one more. Okay, so this is about the share appreciation. A lot of people say, oh, I don't want to do that because why am I giving back to the lender part of what I just gained, right? So I want to talk about the fallacy behind all that. So in the blue here is just a normal person that would come to me and say, okay, I want to buy a home, 750 sale price, I got 5% down, it's full doc, owner occupied SFR, right? They're going to get a 7% interest rate. The loan amount is 727.5. And as you can see on a normal financing, they're going to get a P&I 4740. They're going to have mortgage insurance, property taxes, insurance. All of that is 5823 per month, right? But if they go through the shared Dream for All program, the state is going to give them 20% for their down payments, which means they now have a loan amount of 600,000, same interest rate, but they have a lower loan balance and they have no PMI. You can see that the payment is only $48.73, which is $950 less per month, right? So now, can you go to the next slide? All right, so let's talk about the share appreciation. Well, let's just assume the house is going to grow 4% per annum. And that's pretty generous over the next 5 years. So it goes from 750 to 780, 811, 843, 877, 912 when they go sell the house. So what they have to give back to the state is just 20% of the gain. So if the gain is 162,000, they give 20% back. They're giving 32,000 back. That's the part where people say, oh my God, I don't want to do that, right? Because why am I giving this back to the state? So now, can you go to the next slide? So coming back to the first screen, we saw that the cash flow advantage was $950 per month at 60 months. That's $57,000 gain in cash flow over the last 5 years. Now, last screen. So when we put it back into comparing apples to apples, here's your appreciation you're paying back, $32,000. Your cash flow advantage was $57,000. The gain to them was $24,000 over a 5-year period. You can quantify that. $25,000 over 5 years is $5,000 a year. Each month is a little over $400 a month. That's the savings to the client. And that's if it's a 4% growth. What if it's less? If that's even higher. So these are some of the things I'm going to explain at the seminar on Saturday. I wanted you guys to see this so you can see the power of this program. There's not one person out there who's looking to buy that shouldn't be thinking about getting into this Dream for All program. The beauty is the state has tweaked it into a voucher system, a lottery system. So they have to get pre-approved. They have to get into the system, and then they get awarded this lottery, this voucher. And then they have a certain amount of days to find their home. The good thing for you is you get your clients to get off the fence, submit their documentation. You know exactly what they're approved for. And if they don't get the voucher, you've got a pre-approved borrower that can get the shop, right? And we're telling you exactly what they qualify for, what their down payment looks like, so you know exactly what they can do. So it's one of those things you should get everyone in your sphere to get to this seminar on Saturday, the 23rd. And now, can you go back up to that slide where the date of the seminar is? So again, it's gonna be Saturday, March 23rd, here in this office. Everyone's welcome. So get it out to your sphere, get as many people as you can, get them in here. We'll do a really nice setting where we do a continental breakfast, so they come in here and they really feel like this is actually an event. We've done a couple of them last year. One, I think we had about 80 people here, which is pretty insane. And then another one, I think that the second one, we had about 50, 60 people. But it's still a really good event for these people that when they come in here, they see the mass and they feel like they're at a live event, which is kind of hard, actually. The only bad thing is they gotta listen to me for about 45 minutes time. But I'm gonna be presenting them what a first-time home buyer looks like, what to expect, and then the Dream for All program. So hopefully you guys will be able to bring some clients in here on Saturday. I am gonna send out this sheet to you guys a little later from my new email. And I'm gonna make it editable so that it's not me, because I'm not really trying to pitch me for the seminar. I'm really trying to pitch you guys, right? So I'm gonna give you an editable one where you can put your contact information. So it looks like it's you that's giving the presentation, right? Or at least it's gonna be hosted by a mortgage company. So be on the lookout for that. That's gonna come a little later today. Any questions?
So this new company, Arbor, that you're with, this is just specific to you, not all Keller Williams lenders.
Correct.
Okay, we just decided to go on.
Yeah, exactly.
So if we know another lender, another KW, that can be further than KW.
Put his big boy pants.
That's high.
Yeah, exactly. Brandon's right, I put my big boy. I'll jump down.
That's right.
Yeah, I took the bag out. I'll have another one here. I'll have some banners and stuff. It's just everything was happening so fast over the last 4 weeks. The training courses I had to go to, learning your system, it's just been kind of a pain. Because every time there's just one little hitch to it that you gotta get past, but that's a story. Yeah. Anyway, I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm here. I'm not leaving. You guys are my family. I've said this many a time. You guys are my second family. I knew I didn't want to leave this office when cross country wanted to make the move. I didn't want to move. I wanted to stay with you guys. So I'm still.
I know we had a lot of conversations in that fishbowl. All right, real quick, and I apologize for the delay, but I think it was great content. Upcoming events. Please, if you haven't registered for this, it's tomorrow at the PV office. It's called the KW Effect. It's gonna be an awesome instructor by Aaron, and he's gonna be talking about the KW stakeholder, which is a little bit about, profit share. So please register. Parking is very limited up at PV, but if you want to take advantage, it's tomorrow, March 7th, from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Okay, and that's at the KW PD office. Okay. Questions? All right, next slide. We have Ashley, Eric, and Lloyd talking about the Real Estate Investor Hub, March 7th at 11. It's going to be here, learn, network, strategies around real estate investing and all the fun stuff. Anything you want to add? Eric?
I announced it several times, but I'll do it again, guys. Tomorrow, we're gonna have an APU specialist, a lender, we're gonna have a bakery as well. We're gonna have a 30-minute presentation about scrub investment properties. Everyone's welcome. It's gonna be good information, and it's a monthly thing, and I will be announcing something special tomorrow for the following. All right, so that's all I say.
Awesome. All right, let's continue. Gary is going to be talking about win with sellers. That's March 7th tomorrow from 2 to 4 here in the training room. Ignite, for the people that are part of the Ignite, we're almost to the finish line. So these are the last of the curriculum, and who better than Gary teaching the curriculum. So that's tomorrow, March 7th. All right, if I can get Brandon up here real quick, let's give Brandon a round of applause. I'm excited about this, so take a look, my friend.
Another badass photo from Cheyenne. You guys want badass photos? She's the one.
Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
That's right. So we have Verified coming up in a couple weeks. If you guys are paying attention to what's going on, it's time to get your shit together. And this is a program that's gonna help bulletproof, especially your listening business. So I highly encourage that if you haven't taken it, come take it. If you've already taken it, come learn again. It's a lot to process. You've got 45 years of real estate history that's been processing transactions a certain way, and it's time to change that. So this is a great program that I encourage you to come take a peek at. So that, and then just one quick offering, our team on Friday at 11:30 here in the training room is having a presentation from the Zoom Casa come in to learn all of the great things that they have to offer you as well. So you guys are more welcome to come sit in on that with our team as well. So.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right. Awesome, Brandon. Thank you very much. I encourage you, please. Great curriculum to take. I've taken it and I love it. Especially as a broker, compliance. This is the way to go. This is probably going to be the future of how real estate will eventually go. All right. All right. And I believe that concludes our team meeting. Next slide. Yay! Thank you. Thank you. I believe there's still a lot there.